we've got some big problems over at Stellantis, and it is going to affect Dodge, and it's going to affect Jeep. I predicted it would affect Jeep, and I'm still thinking it's going to affect Jeep. I'm worried about Jeep Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer production, especially Grand Wagoneer production. And well, Ram is having to cut the Classic, the 1500 Classic, out of the lineup. It's been around for 15 years, since I believe 2008, and it's been a great affordable option. At Ram, there's no mid-sized truck to compete with the Tacoma, with the Ranger, kind of with the Honda Ridgeline, and for some people, Ford Maverick, Hyundai, Santa Cruz. But they didn't have a mid-sized truck or a small truck for the North American market. What they did have is a classic truck. So old styling, old engine, lower price. You spend more when it comes to fuel, but you had a good old V8 5.7 liter with, unfortunately, a transmission differential and drive shaft that hadn't been changed all those years, and not the most robust transmission. But you get what you paid for, and what you paid for was a low price. So you can't expect perfection, but they're cutting it out. And this comes on a story that I came out with in the live, I guess 2-3 weeks ago, talking about Stellantis CEO, talking about how he was going to be cutting brands. And I said, okay, cutting brands, yes, maybe Maserati, Fiat, but probably when it comes to the North American market, not cutting brands, cutting models. And this is the first model to get cut. It's the 1500. This thing has had pretty good sales, a great entry price, great for companies, great for people coming into the truck market for the first time who need that lower price to get into the truck market, and it's gone. It's gone, and the sad part about that is it's going to affect up to about almost 2,500 employees, up to maybe 2,450 employees. And that's what all the news articles are saying. But guess what else is built at that plant in the States, in Michigan? Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer. And the Grand Wagoneer is not selling like hotcakes. Dealerships are having to really, really bring down the price on it. And I'd be worried that the Grand Wagoneer is going to get cut. And if they're going to cut the Grand Wagoneer, will they continue making the Wagoneer there? I hope that Ram or Jeep starts producing something else that's high volume at this plant in the end, so these jobs don't get lost. But I'd say there's almost more chance, looking at how things are going from a profit perspective at Stellantis, and based on what the CEO at Stellantis has currently said, that there's almost more chance that the factory completely shuts down than it getting a high volume model like the Classic 1500 and not losing a single job. So maybe it gets closed down, maybe 2,450 jobs get lost, or maybe something in between. But I did mention when the UAW was, working a contract for Dodge, I said, I worry with this being owned by Stellantis. I worry that if they have an excuse, that they'll bring more production to Mexico and even China. So that's unfortunate, and I'm bringing unfortunate news. I like the fact that the Ram 1500 had a nice little starting MSRP of $40,700, and now it's getting replaced by the Tradesman. And the Tradesman, however, the Tradesman is not going to have that old 5.7 liter V8 Hemi. It's just not the same. So stay tuned for more information on this story as it unfolds. But if you want a classic Ram at a really low truck entry price, and you don't want to get a Ford Maverick, there's an option right there while there's still some on lots. And inventory of Ram trucks is actually very high, so you probably will find one. It's not going to be the most difficult find out there, but they're finally going to stop rolling off the line in September. And I think that's sad. I was hoping that with the Classic 1500 being cut, that maybe the current model would kind of become the new Classic and that they just introduce a new styling. So it'd be like, hey, here's your new styling. Pay more if you want the new styling, but we still have a classic truck. The classic truck that was the classic truck is gone, but now we've got a new old classic truck. And I was hoping that, you know, they would work on the transmission, the differential, the drive shaft, those components, beef up the transmission, beef up the drive shaft. But instead, it's going the way of the dodo, and it's gone. So it's too bad. It's too bad. To the live chat community, I love the fact that there's a lot of chat going on. Just want to keep in mind that we're all one big happy community here. It's great to discuss. It's great to chat, but always discuss the argument. Never attack the person. So I'm happy to see that there's no attacking of the person in the comments. So, you know, anyways, it's a